Welcome to class 9th. Well, we were not knowing this way we will start this chapter, but okay. Today's student will start first chapter, the language of chemistry. Chemistry, it is a branch of science which deals with the matter. Student, we will study what matter is made up of, its nature. Matter is solid, liquid or gas. It also tells that matter may be living or non-living. Living matter we study in biology and non-living matter we study in chemistry. Student, non-living matter, as you all know, you have studied in previous classes. A quick revision will do. It's divided into two parts, pure substances and impure substances. Pure substances are those which is made up of molecules containing same kind of atom. Example, copper, gold. Now, what is atom? Atom is the smallest particle of element. And what is element? It is the simple and pure form which cannot be decomposed into simpler substances. Student, same way, what is molecule? Molecule is also smallest particle of matter which is formed by combining of atom and can exist independently. Now the number of atoms present in the molecule or element is known as atomicity. Student, an atomicity we can define once again. The number of atoms present in the molecule of element is known as atomicity. And a molecule can be monoatomic, diatomic and polyatomic. In monoatomic element, elements having only one atom in the molecule, example, copper, gold, all the noble gases, helium, neon, argon. What are diatomic? Element having two atoms present in their molecule, example, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen. Triatomic, element having three atoms in their molecules are known as triatomic, ozone. Same way, tetraatomic, element having four atoms in their molecule will be said to be tetraatomic, example, phosphorus. Octa, according to the word octa means 8. So element having 8 atoms in their molecule will be said to be octatomic, example, sulfur. We can start again that pure substances comprises of element and compound. Element contains same kind of atom and compound, for example, and in compound, for example, carbon dioxide consists of carbon and oxygen. In carbon dioxide, one atom of carbon is present and two atoms of oxygen. And from wherever you will take carbon dioxide, the constituent when you will study, it will be carbon 1 atom and oxygen 2 atoms. Student, other than pure substances, impure substances are there. They are formed when two or more molecules combine. They can be homogeneous or it can be heterogeneous. In homogeneous mixture, example, salty water, the taste is uniform throughout, therefore we can say the solution is homogeneous. Student, solution like muddy water which has non-uniform distribution of molecule and we can say heterogeneous solution. As we know that there are so many elements present in nature, so how to distinguish between the element we'll study in the next slide. Students, as so many elements were discovered, so how to distinguish between the different elements? A short form to represent the element was given by our alchemist, our forerunners. After that, there was a scientist called Dalton. He also gave some symbols, pictorial symbols to represent different elements. From that, there was another third scientist whose symbol was accepted, that was J.J. Berzelius. He suggested that in place of making some pictorial symbols, we can have first initial letters of the element should be taken to represent the element. According to him, he gave some guidelines to represent an element. What he did, he suggested that if same name of 2-3 elements are there, then what we can do, we in that cases, suppose example, we can take carbon. Carbon stands for C. Second element with C initial letter, chlorine, we have chromium, then all the three elements starts from C. So what he did, first element carbon he gave with C, after that two elements like chromium and chlorine. Now the problem was there, chromium and chlorine, both two letters were starting with CH. So what he did, we can go for third letter. This was his second step to be followed while categorizing the element. Third, what he did, that some of the elements, their Latin names were there, so we can take the Latin names and we can name the elements. Now, what is symbol? A symbol is a short form that stands for the atom of a specific element. What it signifies? The significance of a symbol is it represents name of the element. Like if we have oxygen, so name of the element is oxygen, so we can represent by a symbol O, and O represent means it represent one atom of the element. Third, what it represent, a definite mass of the element, that is equal to atomic weight of the element. So oxygen atomic weight was 16 gram, so its mass will be 16. The combining capacity of an element is known as valency. Student, each element in nature want to be stable, so the element either loses electron or gain electron or share electron during a chemical reaction, and this loss, gain or share of electron is known as valency. Children, as you all know, an atom is made up of electron, proton and neutron. Electron carry negative charge, proton positive charge and neutron no charge. An atom is electrically neutral because it contains equal number of electron and proton. If one or more electron is removed, then positive charge increases, and if one or more electron is added, more negative charge. Due to this, atom gain charge either positive or negative, and now it is called ion. Definition of an ion is a positively or negatively charged atom, a group of atoms which are formed by loss or gain of electron by an atom or group of atoms. Now student, an ion carrying positive charge is called cation and carrying negative charge is called anion. For example, take the example of sodium. Its atomic number is 11. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1. If sodium removes one electron from its outermost shell, its electron will be 10 and proton will be 11. Therefore, sodium will carry positive charge. If from this we will conclude an element carrying positive charge formed by loss of electron, it will be called as monovalent. Second case, take an example of magnesium. Magnesium atomic number is 12. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 2. If it removes 2 electrons, so therefore magnesium will gain 2 positive charge. From here we'll derive a conclusion. If an element loses 2 electrons and gains 2 positive charge, then it will be called as divalent. Take the case of aluminium. Aluminium atomic number is 13. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 3. Aluminium removes 3 electrons from its outermost shell and it gains 3 positive charge. Therefore, it will be called as trivalent. Now, here we have done the example of the element which were losing electron, either 1 electron, 2 electron or 3 electron. We will have some cases where the element gain electrons. Take the case of chlorine. Atomic number of chlorine is 17. Electronic configuration of chlorine will be 2, 8, 7. So to become stable, chlorine will accept 1 electron. Due to that, chlorine will gain a negative charge. From here, an element which gain a negative charge, 1 negative charge, it will be called as monovalent. Take the other case like oxygen. Its atomic number is 8. Electronic configuration will be 2, 6. To become stable, it will take except 2 electron and it will gain 2 negative charge. This element which gains 2 negative charges, they will be also called as divalent. Other third case, take the case of nitrogen. Its atomic number is 7, electronic configuration will be 2, 5. Nitrogen will also accept 3 electron and it will gain 3 negative charge. And nitrogen has 3 negative charge, so it will be called as trivalent. From here, student, from cation and anion, we got a conclusion that an element either gain 1 electron or loses 1 electron, then it will be called as monovalent. An atom which gain 2 electron or loses 2 electron, it will be called as divalent. An element which gains 3 electron or loses 3 electron, it will be called as trivalent. These were the cases of element. Now take some example of a compound. We'll start with example of HCl. HCl is a compound. In HCl, hydrogen atomic number is 1, chlorine atomic number is 17. If we'll study the electronic configuration, hydrogen has 1 in the outermost shell, chlorine has 7 electron in its outermost shell. Neither hydrogen will give its electron nor chlorine will give its electron. So here what both of them, they will share electron. Hydrogen needs 1 more electron to become stable. Chlorine needs 1 more electron to become stable when it will gain 8 electron in the outermost shell. So what hydrogen will do? Hydrogen will give its 1 electron. Chlorine will give its 1 electron in the center, and both this electron, they will share the electrons. So hydrogen outermost shell will become 2 and chlorine outermost shell will become 8. Here hydrogen is sharing 1 electron, chlorine is sharing 1 electron, therefore the valency of hydrogen will be 1 and chlorine valency will be 1. Like this we can study the valency of compounds. Now student, there is one more case, variable valency. Certain element exhibit more than one valency, they show variable valency. Student, till now you studied that element loses, gain electron from its outermost shell. But there are certain elements, they can lose more electron present in valence shell or from inside of the valence shell, that is penultimate shell. Children, what is penultimate shell? Penultimate shell is the cell inside of the valence shell. Therefore, this element exhibit variable valency. They have a nomenclature. How we do the nomenclature of this type of element showing variable valency? Take an example of copper. Copper showed 2 valency, +1 and +2. If we have to identify which valency copper is there, so copper having higher valency +2, we add a suffix IC, and for copper having lower valency +1, we'll add a suffix OUS. So how you will call copper? Copper having +1 valency will be said to be cuprous. Copper having +2 valency will be said to be cupric. Same way, case of iron. Iron show 2 valency, +2, +3. Higher one +3 will add IC, lower one will add OUS. So iron F+3 will be called as ferric, iron +2 will be called as ferrous.